We are still judging wind farm applications based on guidelines from 2006. Guidelines written when the turbines were half the height they are today. That is an abject failure of policy. And furthermore, we have zero specific planning guidelines for solar farms. None at all, and it is coming across to the public as if it is a free-for-all. My questions are simple, and I need as best answers as possible, because I need to know from my constituents, when can they expect the wind energy guidelines to be finally updated to reflect the modern reality? I'm talking about setback distances, I'm talking about noise management, I'm talking about reassuring communities that wind energy can be done in a responsible and plan-led way. And then also, has the government any plan to introduce robust solar energy guidelines to stop what is currently haphazard sprawl at the moment? We want to do our bit, Taoiseach, but we cannot, in Galway East, be sacrificed for the betterment of the national grid. Thank you.
Taoiseach, we should qualify that you're now in other members' questions. We've moved on from leaders. Taoiseach, please.
Gormagat.
Indeed, I thank the Deputy for raising this issue, and just to say at the outset that obviously the big challenge facing this country is energy sustainability and security into the future, and that is a significant challenge. We're importing about 80%, I think, of our fossil fuels now from United Kingdom, essentially, in the gas interconnectors. We have developed a very strong onshore wind performance nationally, which is to our credit. It's about 48%. But that has created challenges, and the technology has advanced, and you're correct, the turbines are much higher. And there has been quite considerable pressure for the updated guidelines, which were last, I think, go back to 2006. And so the Minister will be announcing a national statement, a national planning statement, which will take on board all of this, particularly in terms of wind energy guidelines. And it is looking at all those issues of setback distance, noise, shadow flicker community, obligation, community dividend, and grid connections, because the grid connection is equally important, and a greater consistency of approach to planning for wind energy development, and clarity to the industry and to local communities in particular. Obviously, the technical context changes, and technology has advanced hugely. So the finalised NPS will be informed by the most up-to-date analysis and taking account of international best practice. That then will have to go for environmental assessment, strategic environmental assessment, public consultation, where the public and all interested parties can make observations. And also then in terms of solar is growing very fast now, but it was very low level of coverage on solar around the country. And there is an issue, and I've asked the Minister, and he is, to bring in guidelines in respect of solar in rural Ireland, but particularly in terms of a tiered approach to where you have excellent agricultural land to weigh up, you know, in terms of the future of the country. Food security is equally important, food production. Now, the IFA, or the farming community, have different views on that, by the way. That's, you know, people want to retain their right to sell their own land, so it's not simple, and it is an issue that needs further development, but it is a growing source. It's about 2.1 gigawatts now of solar power capacity currently installed. We do want more solar, but I take your point. It has to be done on a planned basis. That's fair. And I think what's happening is in some areas where it's happening now, people are beginning to see fairly quickly a transformative alteration, if you like, of the landscape that they've been used to for 100 and odd years, or for their entire lifetime. And there is a land use review that has been underway for quite some time in terms of the optimal land use options for the country more generally, and that will look at key demands, both public and private, in terms of land also.
But the fear for people at the moment is the speed at which we're moving to see this enacted, because while we're dealing with this here in the Dáil, and while government departments are dealing with this, there is a delay that is allowing for more of these applications to come forward. There's 5 or 6 of them are live in Galway East right now. for wind farms, and there's proposals coming forward for solar also. I think definitely there does need to be consideration given to the appropriateness of different sections of land for solar. We've multiple proposed developments at the moment, and solar really wasn't viable in this country only in the last 2 or 3 years because of the decrease in the price of panels. So solar is going to play a bigger role, but the fear is, Taoiseach, is that our landscapes will be unrecognisable because we are too late to react to the planning applications that are in today. And so all I'm saying is that I think we need to move at speed in dealing with the proliferation of energy projects in Galway East.
Yeah, although I take your point, and by the way, Galway East is a strategic regional growth area for the government as well, so we're putting a lot of money, you know, towns like Ballinasloe, Loughrea, Athenry, Gort, Portumna, they're being strengthened as a result of residential, commercial and service centres, and we want to create more investment flow into East Galway, more economic opportunities, better regional balance and so on like that. Big stuff happening in terms of infrastructure, national and regional road networks, Irish water investment, national broadband plan. You know yourself, you've been a strong advocate for increased rail improvements, which will be revealed again, not revealed, but money will be allocated to the rail for East Galway and the whole the corridor there and so forth. And housing targets have to be developed. All that will need energy, so we've got to weigh it up in the balance. I don't disagree with your basic call for guideline frameworks to be in place. Solar has, yeah, but it's not just because, I mean, I was in Eli Lilly there some years ago and I opened a solar farm. They had a dairy farm around them. That solar farm now provides 25% of the
time is up,
for the Eli Lilly
Taoiseach. Thank you very
plant.
much.
Pepsi did a rooftop one, which provides 25% of
Thank you, Taoiseach. That's the end of other members.
Energy. So there is a role for it.
We move
but
now.
no one can argue with the need for planning guidelines.